Josh, if you had to start over with no contacts, no listings, no money, what would be your very first move from day one next year?
This is going to be a good session for the newbies. I know there's a lot of them watching this show and trying to gain as much education as possible before they potentially start or as they're just starting. So this one's for you. Like, what I would focus on if I was brand new is I would try and be ahead of the game before I even started here. Okay, it's quite annoying for me, to be honest, when people turn up and they're not sure what to say, or they're not sure who to call, or they're not sure what to do in regards to their marketing. Like, you should be ahead of this stuff. Like, if I was a brand new agent in the marketplace and I knew I was going to start somewhere, what I would do is, first off, no one knows who you are, so you can go around right now and you can meet your competition. You can go to their open homes. You can inquire on their properties. You can get a real good feel on how they present, how the market sees them, at an open home, like what they do well, what they're doing poorly, where you can beat them. You can pick your competition apart. So start there. Start to feel what it's like to be a buyer dealing with your competition. You've also got all of these training platforms that you can plug into and you can do. And, like we've got our own one here at Freedom called Agent Growth, like, if you really care about making yourself successful, you should be coming in ready to go. Especially for some people here, they contact me all the time and they want to come in, and I say, well, why don't you come in for a trial day? And they come in for the trial day and they're just stumped. They're like, so what am I doing? And I'm like, well, I told you could come in and ring some buyers. Like, why didn't you listen to the buyer module that we've created for you in Agent Growth? It clearly says in there what you would do as a buyer manager every day if you were ringing buyers, like, why didn't you watch that? It's like, how invested are you into becoming successful? So at the start, you've got this massive advantage that you don't have any drama right now. You probably don't have too many overheads because you're young. You might even be living at home still. You don't have too many worries, really. You haven't picked up all the bad habits, so you are positioned perfectly to kill it. And if you come in and you put the modern day real estate model in play from day one, it's not going to take too long, and because you got time on your side and because you're starting so well, and if you're just focused on learning and gaining traction, it's just, that's where I would start. It's before you get here. Learn as much as you can, immerse yourself in real estate, be addicted to this game, go to every course, every seminar, everything you possibly can, and come in ready to rock.
We call that funnel hacking in marketing.
Yeah.
When you essentially just go down another business's funnel to see how they treat customers, what the customer journey is like.
Yeah.
And I love doing it. I feel a little guilty because I've done it a couple of times and like pretending I'm a real estate agent, and they're like, oh, you want this? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm an agent coming out or whatever. But it's just super interesting to see how other businesses operate.
Yeah.
And you can just get a perspective of immediately, oh, what should I be doing? Or like, I respect this person's business is going well. Maybe those actions are the type of actions that a successful person would take.
Yeah. Back in the day, we never used to manage buyers that well. And maybe like 4 or 5 years into my career, I bought my first house and I was like, oh my God, the service has been so horrific, and I was just like, is this how it should be? And then when I bought my investment property a year later, I was even more horrified because I went to the coast and I bought it there. And I was just like, it just didn't feel right, you know what I mean? And I felt like we could do this so much better, and I was embarrassed by not managing buyers as well as what we do now. And that's sort of when our business started to evolve, and when we focused on handling every single person like a future seller, rather than do they want to buy a house of us, do they have a house to sell, if they don't, catch you later. It's completely changed our business. So understanding and putting yourself in the buyer's shoes. And right now, as a newer agent, you can do that. You can go to the open homes, you can get a feel, you can funnel hack, and see what the competition's doing well.
Yeah, my property journey started while I was at this business.
Yeah.
And I only ever knew how buyers should be treated based on how this business treats buyers, right? And then going out into the market as a buyer, it's feral out there.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see how well, because again, this is like all I knew. I was like, this is how agents treat buyers. And then had an experience as a buyer. I was like, that ain't it.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. No, you just, you got to think of these these people as people. They don't. This buyer doesn't look at this the same way that you do. You're as an agent, you're just trying to make money straight away. Like you're trying to get a listing, you're trying to make a sale, and it's like that. But that buyer over there is not thinking of it like that. They're like, oh, does he not want to be my agent for life?
And service is so poor these days that when you do get good service, you remember it.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Okay, so what skills do you think new agents absolutely need to master in today's market that maybe weren't as critical when you first started?
New agents don't really need to master anything at the start. All they need to do is be relentless and, be confident and be, aggressive in, being able to work hard. I wouldn't say they need heaps of skills, and that's something that can potentially stop someone because they don't think they are good enough or they don't think they know the right answer. It's like, who cares? Figure it out as you go. Well, all you really need when you're first getting started is, that work ethic, like I said before, when you're young, you've got all of these and new, and there might be some older people that are starting. It's definitely harder when you're a little bit older and starting in this game because you've got a few more pressures, a few more stresses and headaches. But if you're a young person, you're fairly new and you're starting in this game, you've got this massive advantage because you've got really no pressure and you don't have to be home at 5 o'clock. You don't have to pick up your kids. You don't have to, do a lot of these commitments that other people might have. So you can work your ass off right now, and that is all it takes. It's like trying to do 3 years in 1 year. If you can get into that mentality, if you can get into that habit when you're first getting started, you don't really need skills. The skills will come. But right now, what you need is a relentless work ethic, and you need goals, and you need to be surrounded by the right people. You need to be motivated, and you need to come in with a chip on your shoulder and get shit done.
Yeah, just consistency beats everything all the time. Yeah. Alex Hormozi says it all the time as well. You don't have to be smart to win. You just have to be consistent.
Definitely.
And so many people that clearly aren't as smart as the smartest people in the room because they're too busy. And I'm guilty of this as well. Sometimes just spend all this time being analytical. And then I look back on whatever journey I'm on and I'm like, oh, if I was just crushing, then I would be where I would need to be now. But I was just trying to analyze the situation for too long,
Yeah. And sometimes you learn just fucking it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a quicker way to learn.
You learn the most doing that way, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely I love the planners. I love the people that sit down and plan things inside this business. And there's so many of them, and I love them, and I wouldn't be anywhere that I was without them. And I need those people around me. But as a sales agent, you need to be a little bit more like a bull in a china shop sort of thing, especially at the start, you've got to be going in hot. You got to come in and you got to then build the pieces around you of what you're not good at, you need to come through, run hard and make things happen. So yeah, that's what you learn.
So how would you approach building a trust and credibility quickly without a track record?
Again, it's just doing things you say you're going to do. It's quite simple, if you say to someone, I'll speak to you in 3 weeks, you speak to them in 3 weeks. You say to them, if you're going to do something, you're going to get it done. It's like, how do you present to the marketplace? What's your social media look like? Are you turning up every single day? Are you doing things consistently? When I first started, there was a little coffee shop inside my suburb and I went there every morning without fail. My monthly email to my whole database went out on the same day every single month. Everything was religious for me. I was like, it has to be done. It doesn't matter where I was that day, it had to be done. That email had to go out because my database knew that I was consistent. And then when you get bigger and you get more money, you get more help in your team, you can ramp up everything. And then you make everything even more consistent. You ramp up your marketing, you ramp up the amount of calls you can do, you ramp up, but everything stays consistent. Buyers, if they are in a certain stage, they get called at a certain time. If it's a future seller, you say, you do what you say you're going to do, So that's literally all it is. It's, there's no magic potion in real estate, You get these people and they come in and you're like, all right, we can make this work with this person. They pick up the phone, they get it done, and they're not scared to market themselves. Like, we can get this done with this person. We can make them better. You know, it's just when people are trying to reinvent the playbook, it's like, you don't have to. You just got to come in and do this well. And if you put your personal touch on top of the formula that is real estate and the formula that we have here at Freedom, you're going to be successful. You just got to have faith in the plan.
Yeah, it's interesting. We personally have seen a few agents in our time come in and we're like, here's the plan, follow the plan. And like, yep, got it. And then they just want to do it a particular different way that kind of suits them. And then, 6 months, 12 months down the line, they're like, why isn't this plan working for us? It's like, well, we gave you this plan and you wanted to do it this way.
Yeah.
So
Oh, seriously.
I don't know if Josh is lying. I don't know if you've seen how long he's been in the industry for.
But it's not just me. Like, it's same old. Like, you look at all the top performers and they're all very similar. They're all doing very similar things. Like, they're all very similar types of people. Like, you just got to dissect your competition. You got to analyze, who the best agents are and what are they doing. And usually when you look at them, they all tend to focus on something. They all have some sort of a core. All of them have fairly good social medias. They all have teams that are built around them, and then they all run in their lanes. And, it's like, it's pretty clear, what you need to do to be successful in this business.
So what lead generating strategies would you double down on next year, and which ones would you avoid completely?
Me personally next year, or is this for new people we talking about?
I mean, both, yeah.
Okay. If I was brand new, I wouldn't try and burn my budget on marketing completely. I would try to be quite, again, consistent with everything. I'd probably pick, like a neighborhood, say like 1,000 homes or 2,000 homes or whatever you think you can handle. And I'd be religious about being in those letterboxes. I think that's a huge one. It's untapped as well. And if you get the right classy brochure inside a letterbox, that's like game changer. You know where your future customers live, so be where they are. And then obviously social media is the other play. It's like, if you've got good media and you are engaging and people want to watch you and follow you, they will become your future clients as well, and then if you can add some digital marketing behind that as you grow, that to me is the trifecta. Then when you start to become really successful, you add things in like bus stops, like billboards, like crazy big digital marketing packages, like, giveaways, all this sort of stuff. But right now, you need to just make sure your customer is seeing you all the time. And why would someone that lives in that suburb follow you? So your content's got to be engaging. They've got to, want to follow you. They've got to want to follow your story, your journey that you're on, and be where they are, where they live. So simple.
Yeah, I don't like receiving letters because I've got a no junk mail sticker on my letterbox, right? So I pretty much throw them away every single time without looking at them. A lot of the times they even put them in an envelope, and I'm like, it's still just the pamphlet that you created. But the other day I got one that was handwritten, and not like handwritten and photocopied, it was handwritten. Yeah,
nice.
I'm going to remember the name of that agent just because of how much effort they went to, and it was about a specific person, on my street that sold for a specific price, and they said they have more buyers.
Definitely.
And it's like, sure, that's kind of a similar strategy to a lot of other agents. Yeah. But the fact that they hand wrote that for like however many people in just my street, I'm like, okay, respect.
And definitely that's a real personal touch, which just makes the customer feel something. What else makes them feel something is professional quality. So if you are putting something in their letterbox, you can go for the personal touch, or you can do the high end, sexy approach. Whatever you're putting in there has got to be top notch. It's got to be, don't you design it, basically. Don't you design it. You're not a marketer. You don't understand this world, even though you think you do, you don't. Get this all planned out and get this structure, get it done right, because there's got to be some sort of method to this letterbox drops, and they might be once a month, and you might ramp them up to once every 2 weeks, but if there's like a story being told on these DLs, you might throw the first one away or the second one, but then by the fifth one, you're like, this lady's relentless. And it's like got a QR code on there driving them back to your landing page, which has got a video of you telling this story about how you helped little Betty do this and 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 it's got a capture pay app on there. It's like you can capture their details potentially, then they go on a digital marketing journey with you. It's like all of this stuff just all plays in with each other, and that's what I'd focus on: professional or personal. Real estate agents, what if you had a course that could give you all of the tools needed to absolutely kill it in 2025? I've built this course. I've been in real estate for 20 years. I've listed thousands of properties, and I want to give this course to you now. I used to sell this course for $2,000 a pop, and now I'm going to give it to the first 100 people for absolutely free. It's yours for the taking. Snap it up.
Yeah, marketing is all about shaping perceptions, and every minute detail has an effect on how your perception is shaped. And when you're opening a letter and you like look at this particular glossy, ad in front of you, all of that stuff, and based on how you're feeling in that moment, like all these tiny minute things matter. And that's why agents shouldn't necessarily design their letterbox drops, not because they're not artists or they don't want to be involved. I understand like wanting to have your own creative flair on it. But if someone's been doing that for X period of time and they understand all the minutiae of all these tiny little details and how that affects the customer's perception of you, and their goal is to shape it positively, let them do it.
And we'll show you what we mean with this, because I've been collecting the stuff that's been coming in my letterbox. So I got my pad.
An episode on that. Let's just rip them all out and rip them apart.
Well, that's what we're going to do. So I got my place at the coast there, and I get a lot there, and my place at Wellington Point. So I've got a lot that have been coming at me. So I've been collecting them over the last little part, and some of them are brilliant. Some of them suck. So we'll do a little
call out all the agents live.
Well, whatever.
And then invite them on the podcast.
That's it. But no, like if it's good, you're sweet, but if your marketing's average, we may as well tell you. It might help you.
So if you could only focus on one thing for the first 12 months in your industry, what would it be and why?
Focus on one thing. Again, your database is so important for me. It's like building some sort of database, It's like if you don't have a database, it's very, very hard for us in this business to even help you. If you haven't got future sellers coming on, like it's very, very difficult, So if they're not in the system, we can't email market to them. We can't mass SMS to them. We can't, there's so many things that we can't do. We can't target them digitally on social media because we haven't got their email address. So it's like you need to build a database. Like that's the 101 most important thing you need to do. And then whilst you're doing this is obviously your marketing. It's like your social media strategy. These two things are just for your first probably 2-3 years. It's like all you should focus on. It's like trying to get every single person that lives in the suburb into your database with clean data, mobile, email. And it's not just you buying the data off of some what's it called, ID for me or something like that. Like that's not the way to do it. Like you need to get their data, like you need to get them to want to give you their data. That's permission for you to have a relationship with them now. They've given you their email, they've given you their phone number. So rather than you just putting them into your database, like, yeah, for sure, they're in your database, but what you want is you want them to give you the data. So now you can keep in touch with them. And now it's just play that long game and do the right marketing and it's going to come.
Nice. And so what's the biggest mistake that you made early in your career that you would avoid at all costs if you were starting again tomorrow?
Yeah, well, it's like if I was starting in tomorrow, this would be an absolute walk in the park compared to what we used to have to do. Back in the day, this is how old I am, showing my age when I first started in real estate 20 years ago, we used to knock on the door, not even get their phone number, there wasn't even emails back then. It's like we didn't send emails. That was so foreign. And people didn't even have mobiles then. So we would just knock on the door and say, hey, would you like to sell? No? See you later. See you next month when I knock on your door. Because it was just all like door knocking and then cold calling. And we only had home numbers. So we couldn't call anyone during the day. So we had to door knock during the day. And then we'd have to wait until like after hours when they got home from work and call their landline. It was brutal, but that worked for me because I was happy to just, door knock and cold call the most, so, but these days it's so much more simpler because, they're prospecting you because of how good your social media strategy is, like you can obviously get their email address and you can talk to them a different way. You can tell them your story. You can provide them with things that they want to know about. And obviously you got their mobiles now, so it's even more simple. So, yeah, like the biggest mistake that I made when I first started, like obviously was not getting the data correct, So if I would have got that data earlier from day one and been understanding how to build this database quicker, that would have been so much easier for me, And also I didn't go hard enough on marketing. I think like I was a little bit skeptical about people that spent a lot of money on marketing. Because what I was the hard worker, and I was like, these guys are cheating. You know, I was like that type of thing. I was like, nah, I'm just going to outwork these people. Yeah, they might spend, you know, all that money and they've got all that stuff going out, but like, I'm not going to spend that money and I don't have to make as much money as them to beat them, you know. But I was in this like mindset of like, it just wasn't right. Like, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to submit to this marketing plan. And I did. And then my business just doubled because now I had everything and it was just so much easier for me. And now, you know, you don't have to work as hard because your marketing is so good. So it's like, you know, start with the hard work, add the marketing in, but as quickly as you can, like add that marketing in and go hard on it because it's your own name. It's like all I'm marketing is my name and my face, you know, like that's not going anywhere. So you're just playing the long game on your own name of people that live in the suburb and they move to the neighboring suburb or they don't go far anyway, a lot of people. So they're going to remember your name if you market it well. And if you market it to them for 20 years, like odds are everyone's going to know who you are in that little suburb. So you should hopefully get a call if they like you. If they don't, then they don't. It's all good. You're not going to like it. Not everyone's going to like you. It's fine. You don't need everyone to like you. You know, there's maybe you should do your numbers on your suburb. How many sales are being made in your suburb? You know, is there 300 sales in your suburb in the next 12 months? Fantastic. Can you get 20% market share? That's 60 sales. Those 60 sales, you know, maybe another, you know, 20% of them have houses to sell. So there's another 12 sales. So now you've made 82 sales, you know, just off getting 20% of your suburb. Like, absolute walk in the park.
Yeah, and every successful business ever, before the financial year has even started, has decided how much they're going to spend of their revenue on marketing.
Definitely.
And, you know, it's 30% in some cases.
Yep.
And when I say that to some agents, they're like, oh, because it's like, I haven't even thought about, first of all, how much have I spent on marketing this year? How much results did that get me? And if that much money got me that much results, how much more results do I want to get? Therefore, how much bigger should my marketing budget be next year? This is how businesses think.
Yeah. And delaying the shiny object, you know, like you don't need that car right now. You don't need that holiday potentially, you know, like, you know, you can do things soon, but it's like right now your most important thing is building your business, you know, like have a holiday book for sure. Like I did plenty of holidays when I was coming up, like, but we'd go away for 2 weeks, we'd come back and we'd work our asses off, you know, and we'd put our money away over there for a holiday, but we weren't going and flashing money and buying stupid things and like wasting our money. And I would pour my money back into me personally or something I wanted to do over here, you know, to have a break from this. But the goal was always to back myself and to put more money into my own name because that was what was going to get me more business.
Yeah, just investing in yourself, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the returns in this business are so huge, like big deal, you're $5,000 down, you know, like you could be 30 grand up next week. Yeah. It's that bang, like that. It happens so quickly. And all you got to do is have faith that this is going to work out. And if it's not working out, it's because you haven't got faith in the plan. It's because you're not marketing, because you're not working hard enough. It's literally that simple. And it's like, yeah, but I've been working hard enough, but but you didn't have faith in the plan because you're not marketing yourself. And you're like, well, I'm marketing myself. Yeah, now you're not working hard enough. You got to like combine all this all at the same time. Hang in there and just do it as long as you can. And like I said, this for the younger agents that are watching this, your 20s, like just give up on your 20s, you know, like seriously, like break yourself in your 20s. I'm telling you, go as hard as you possibly can. Why not? You know, like a lot of you are still living at home. A lot of you don't have kids yet. You know, most of you can stay back late. You can work harder. You can run harder as well. Like you've got more energy. Like you are good to go. You can do this, you know, and be around 4 or 5 other youngsters that are in the same mindset as you and go together, you know, and just watch what happens. You know, when you get into your 30s, this is going to be a walk in the park for you, you know, but still have fun in your 20s. Like book the 2-week holiday to Europe, to go to, you know, Bali for a couple of weeks. Like have these all booked in. So you've got something in 3 months to look forward to. But right now, let's go hard as, because we know in 3 months, we're going to go to Bali for 2.5 weeks. All right. But have faith in that plan. If you work your ass off, do good marketing, it's just a time thing.
it's good to know what you would do if you were to start again in real estate next year. Good episode, bro.
Ah, nice. Yeah, lovely. Well, thanks for watching.